Check 1, 2. We are back. STEM research. What up? What up? What up? It's a Monday. Mike MFN Love, or just Mike Love, or Fresh G to my people in Milwaukee. Hi. Welcome to another episode. It's Monday, the 22nd. Man, just a few days away from Thanksgiving, baby. Look at this year just flying by. Flew. What's up to everyone in the chat? An exclusive. Thank you for joining us. Dragoon Night. I just have to say that. Dragoon Night 5515. Welcome. Class is in session. You are absolutely correct. Class is in session. STEM research, song, tracks, essential music. Not to be confused with science, technology, engineering, and math. Not that kind of STEM. These STEMs are musical. We're diving deep into the DNA of some of the greatest songs ever recorded, and we do that Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock right here on the Mike MF and Love Network, right? Network. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. Join me. Let me make sure we're live on all those. Yep, the little light is on, and we are live. Yes, we are. Online. All right, making sure all of that's there. Let's pull up the chat in your face. How about the in your face chat, bro? How about that? Docs, let's go with chat. And there it is. All right. What's going on? Hey, how's it going? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was eventful. Running around. Got the youngest T is back for Thanksgiving, so she'll get to spend Thanksgiving with us. That's always a lot of fun before she goes back off to college. Trinity hanging out with us. Just turned a fresh 21 as well, so she's drinking legally. and she's probably like the first, because she's the baby. You know, babies just, they get away with whatever. She was the first to kind of like, oh yeah, I'm drinking in front of you guys. You know, dads, I think, are like, you know, we're realists. Like, I don't know when my kids started drinking, but they started drinking. I mean, not everybody actually drinks, but you hang out with your friends and peer pressure to hand you some kind of liquor, and you're drinking it. And next thing you know, you're sloshed. When you go off to college, that happens too, especially if you have a dorm room or, you know, you're rooming with other girls your age. Like, why wouldn't you? So she came back home. She's like, yeah, for my birthday, I'm definitely going to be drinking at dinner. So this isn't your first, is what you're saying. And I love that. I love that honesty. You know, just come right home. Just drink. Hey, you're 21. Why not? So tonight, we are presenting stems from the 1970s. We're getting back to what we normally do on this show. I think we took a day off, right? We took Friday off because Friday was traveling day. That was the day that I was, you know, going to get the kid and actually going to get both kids. It was a day on the road for me. So John 46, welcome. But, you know, that's a good thing because that was also, was it Thursday? Yeah. Thursday was Versus, and Friday I was off. And then Saturday I was back with the Old Man Rap Show. Great show. Make sure you guys check it out. Hippity Hop and Rappity Rap from 1979 through 1995. Had a really dope segment of all-female hip-hop for about an hour and 15, 30 minutes. Just nothing but girly rap. Well, it wasn't girly rap because I don't, I'm in the lyrics. So it was a nice segment of lyrical female rhymes, taking it back to when you had to spit to get on the microphone, right? You couldn't front, you couldn't come in the door with no BS. But today, on STEM Research, we are taking it to Ohio with the Players, and we are taking it to Detroit via Los Angeles with the great Stevie Wonder. So 2 great songs And of course, they've been sitting on my hard drive, and I'm like, love Rollercoaster? Absolutely. Let's do some funk. We don't do a lot of funk on the show because guess what, people? There's not a lot of funk out there. But, I'm starting to see people kind of creating their own stems, doing like live mixes. Shout out to Francois K. It's like stems, like everybody. I'm glad to know that I was on the STEM game early. Also, right now on, because I log into IG, Instagram to post the show. And D Nice was live, DJing live. I guess his contract with Instagram is never up. Like, he's never coming to Twitch like the rest of the DJs because he's getting paid to be on IG. That's what I've been saying from day one. Whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, right now he's playing a nice set of PIR celebrating their 50th anniversary because he's done some remixes. He put out a D Nice. I mean, there's a bunch of like remixes, but part of the press release, at least what he released on his page, was so I got an email from the people at Sony, and they asked me, like, if you could remix any, I'm just paraphrasing. It's not his actual words. It was like, if you could remix any song on Philadelphia International, we want you to do a remix of a Philly International song. And he was like, oh, the more I get, the more I want. So he's got a remix out, D Nice, and it's decent. It's decent. It's a decent remix. It's just the more I get, the more I want, with a nice strong foot underneath it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is house. This is definitely something you could blend along in your sets. It's very D Nice. It's very straightforward. All of his remixes are like easy to digest, straightforward, just like his DJing style. And that's not slander or shade or anything like that. It's just very easily palatable. And you got to be that when you're playing for thousands and thousands of people. You can't be Mr. Underground. I'm just here for the music. Waving Stemodelics. Mr. Majors, thank you for joining us, sir. Yeah, so when the day comes that someone sends me an email and is like, which one of the PIR songs that you want, I'm definitely not going to be. I'm like, well, bro, I already got the Teddy Pendergrass joint, so can you send me that whole Jacksons album? The Jacksons, the one on PIR, is that real? Is that PIR? Is that technically it kind of had the PIR stamp and it had Epic on it. So technically, if you could just send me Good Times from that album and Show Me the Way to Go, and I'll do what I can with them. Matter of fact, send me all of the Harold Melvin albums. Like, if you're sitting on everything, send me all the OJ's album, because I'm not really sure what I want to do. So send me all the stems from the OJ's albums, all of them, or at least the first 6, at least till 79. All of the OJ's albums, all of the Teddy Pendergrass albums. Hell, just open the vault. All right, let me decide. Let me not email you. Just send me everything, and I'll send back what I can do. The stems. Eastern 001, there have been a series of digital-only PIR commission sets this year to pay homage to the 50th. Mike Morrow has one. There are at least 6 to 8 others. There sure are. And they're going super hard on them. I was listening to some of the Mike Morrow mixes over the weekend. Always very tasteful. His work is always very... I'm not speeding the track up. We're not stretching anything. We're not putting any extra drums underneath it. It's just an extended version. He's kind of in the lane of Tom Moulton. He's in that. And I like that style because he has a couple of extended versions, of songs. I was like, oh, okay. He did that Archie Bell Strategy. I was like, this is nice. I like this. But absolutely, as Eastern 001 said, there are a bunch of commissioned remixes. and I'm on digital all the time. That's where I listen to 95% of my music. I was like 5% of my listening is the radio. Like, if the only time I listen to the radio is if my kids are in the car. Other 95% of the time I'm listening to Spotify. And all weekend long, that's all I was listening to was PIR mostly. I was listening to a lot of the remixes, a lot of the compilations, a lot of hard to find songs on there. So, yeah, they've got a lot of great music and a lot of great, I don't want to say all of the remixes. I think that the Mike Morrow stuff is good, and it's just they're just putting stuff out, man. It's like it's the 50-year anniversary, and if you want to do some remixes, and a lot of these edits have been floating around for years. Hell, re-release the Dimitri from Paris joints. Those are the definitive Philadelphia classics from the 1970s, and the Dimitri from Paris joints that he did in 2009 or 2010. Those are the definitive, as far as I'm concerned. Those are the definitive remixes, and the Tom Moulton ones that he did where they flipped the PIR logo into a turntable. Those were dope as well because he touched a bunch of songs that hadn't been touched. Like, I think You'll Never Find he did on there, Nights Over Egypt. So those three. So two of them are Tom Moulton, and one of them is Dimitri from Paris. And Dimitri from Paris, like, absolutely redefined remixes with his remix set a few years ago. Those Moulton extended mixes are going for a grip on Amazon. Really? I know they re-released the original package, and now they re-released it and added a whole bunch of new remixes that I don't like. I was listening to it over the weekend. I was like, I don't like these. He did like new edits of some of the songs that he did back in the 70s, and they're not good. I was like, oh, it's a trash, bro. Anyway, you're always going to get my honest feedback on anything related to stems. And shout out to the STEM gods, man. Shout out to Tom Moulton. Shout out to Mike Morrow. Shout out to Dimitri from Paris. Shout out to all of those cats that have been holding it down for years and putting in STEM work. It is because of those guys that I'm in the game, because the stems that they had in their hands are the stems that leaked, and those are the stems that we're playing that have been out and floating around for the last 10 years or so. Elliot Range, thank you for joining us. Dave Lee as well. Dave Lee, the former Joey Negro, did a nice batch on his last couple of releases that he put out. I know it's like some people are like, what are you talking about? But these are the things that interest me. You know, the reason I'm doing STEM research is two reasons. The first reason is because I was already doing it. Like, I just kind of stuck my toe in the water. Like 2-3 years ago, I was on Facebook and I would sit in front of my computer and I would go through some stems and I would play them on Facebook Live, and people were like, ooh, ah, that's interesting. That's interesting. And the other reason is because I just like fell in love with the whole concept of the song tracks and being able to go into like, I think that is the cool, like, of all the things that I've done in DJing in 35 years, the coolest thing in the world is to be able to take a song that is broken into 8, 16, or 24 tracks, load it into a digital audio workstation, and now be able to look at and listen to all of the parts of the song that I thought were cool. And I'm glad that there are some people that feel that way too, because those people are here watching the show. Like, that's the coolest shit in the world to me, is to be like, you know, I remember when I got, Funkin' for Jamaica. I could not wait to just mute everything. Solo is what we call it, when I just play just that. I couldn't wait to just solo the guys talking, because that's my favorite part of the song, and I know it by heart. So What's up, everybody? Let's dive into today's STEMmy Stems. Our first stem of the night comes from Ohio, the Ohio Players. Dayton, Ohio, to be specific. What's up, what's up, what's up? So, a lot of talent has fallen through Ohio, and the state of Ohio does not get its proper respect. It does from people who love funk. Like, funketeers are like, thank God for Ohio, because between Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and some of the outlying areas, Toledo, shout out to my family in Toledo. If it wasn't for Ohio, I don't know where we'd be. Between Detroit definitely gives up the funk, but so much comes from the state of Ohio. So much so that I did a list of artists. And I was like, because I already knew, I was like, man, if I'm doing Ohio Players, let's talk about the state of Ohio. Bootsy's Rubber Band. So Bootsy and his brother Catfish are from Cincinnati. The Ohio Players, it's in the name of the group. Lakeside, Slave, and all of the people that bounced off of Slave. So Steve Arrington, of course, is from Ohio. Aura, the group Aura, which is a spinoff of the group Slave. Sun, we're here. Sun is here. And Conscience, let your conscience be your guide. Who remembers that one? The group Dayton, it's in the name, Dayton. Phazo, Riding High, produced and discovered by the Ohio Players. Zapp and Roger Troutman, thank you. Junie Morrison, who was not an original member of the Ohio Players, but he was in the group when they did Pain, Pleasure, Funky Worm, etc., etc. Michael Kid Funkadelic Hampton is from Cleveland, a guitarist. The Isley Brothers are originally from Ohio. The OJs are originally from Ohio. The Daz Band, Levert, of course, with the OJs being from Ohio. Wouldn't the Sun be too? The Deal, actually Babyface is from Indianapolis, but the group is from Ohio. Anita Baker was born in Toledo, Men at Large, and of course, Bone, 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 Bone. I'm sure I missed some people, but let me tell you, that is a quality list of funketeers, music, and some of the greatest artists of all time, some of the most influential artists of all time from the state of Ohio. So, big up. Renee Beeman, what up? Men at Large, why not? Yeah, weren't they? They were discovered by Levert or produced by Levert. Junie Morrison is the Laws family from Ohio. Come on, man. Ronnie and the other, I didn't see their name, but then again, I only looked at funk. So Heatwave, that's right, members of Heatwave. But Heatwave, yeah, they're from everywhere. But you got to give credit where credit is due to members that are from, and that's what, when I started naming off names, I knew that the Stimulators would fill in the blanks. So MC Marcus Chapman, thank you. King Records that JB recorded was in Cincinnati. Sure was. That's why it was very easy for him to pluck his guys, not pluck. It was easy for him to pluck Bootsy and Catfish from the city of Cincinnati and from the group that they were in because they were recording in Cincinnati. The two main leaders, Johnny and Keith Wilder, were from Dayton. I love it. So it goes on and on. The state of Ohio is and was considered, especially in the 80s and part of the 70s, the funk capital. And it's so funny considering how people look at Ohio like, oh, that Republican state, the state that LeBron is from. Like, this generation only knows LeBron James and Bone Thugs and Harmony being from the state of Ohio. That's it, that's all. But there's so much lineage, there's so much greatness musically, and our guys, the Ohio Players, as I like to say, had the two musical lives. They had the early stuff on the Detroit-based Westbound, which I love because it's coming out of the 60s and it's perfect for Westbound. It's that psychedelic funk rock type stuff that Junie Morrison is the keyboardist. And Junie Morrison is in the group for 4 years, from 1970 to 1974. They get signed to Mercury Records, and it's kind of like, all right, we're out of here. And Junie Morrison is like, I'm staying. He's not even a part of what they consider the classic lineup. Let me tell you something, folks. I like the Westbound years better. But the hits, we're a hit-based show, right? We talk about hits. That's where the hits were, man. The hits were on Mercury. From 1974 to 1977, 78, unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. So also, if you want to count the Westbound years, that's a good run from 1971, 72 all the way through 77, 78. That's a damn good run, ladies and gentlemen. I had the albums in front of me. Where are they? Pain, Pleasure, and Ecstasy. Those are the Westbound years. Then you have Skin Tight, which actually is the only good album that does not have one name. Then you have Fire, Honey, Contradiction, and Angel, and everything after that is trash. Mr. Mean is trash. Angel has Ohio, and I think Contradiction has Hoochie Coo, which is their last big hit. Ohio is the last record I remember getting played on the radio. Ohio, Ohio. That shit went hard. Ohio by the Ohio Players went hard, and I was born and raised in Wisconsin. Just goes to show you, like, it doesn't matter. I was just in Dayton 2 weeks ago for a Funk Hall of Fame weekend event they had. I was in Detroit the weekend before that. Well, look at you, Marcus Chapman, making moves in the funk world. I love to see it. Agreed, Mike and MFN love Westbound all day for me. Recorded some of those Mercury jams in Chicago. They absolutely did. Those, the best albums of the bunch were recorded mainly in Chicago studios. You don't see that a lot. You normally see a group saying, we're going to record these in Los Angeles, but these are the Ohio Players. Chicago, for them, that is big city, and it's close. Think of the money you're saving with the budget flying or driving. You're not flying to Chicago from Dayton, Ohio. No, we're driving, bro. Money saved. That's less in the budget. But these guys had a hell of a run, man. A hell of a run. And they came out the gate swinging. Number one songs, Fire, and the song that we're playing tonight, Love Rollercoaster, number one. I did a presentation at the University of Dayton about funk album cover art in the 70s. Bro, is this online? Are you filming any of this? Is this stuff I can see? This needs to be online. This needs to be someplace, unless it's just like, I was there, I did it, and you can go to the website and then check it out. That's actually dope. Diamond, the drummer from the Ohio Players, was there. Shout out to the members of the Ohio Players that are still alive, that are still with us. James Diamond Williams being one of them. And let's dive into this. Let's dive into it, shall we? Enough tough talk, as I like to say on this show. It is time for us to present the music, because that is what we do. We talk and we interact, because the show isn't just chatting. The show is no longer in music. It's in just chatting. Kudos to those brothers, because each member got writer's credit. Yeah, that is dope. And that is not something that you saw. Well, you did. You saw it with the Isley brothers. So even if the guys, I've seen Ron Isley, who's from Ohio, say that for the most part, he was the main writer on a lot of their music, and maybe Ernie, and definitely the plus three, Isley, Jasper Isley. The other two brothers weren't writing much of anything, but everybody got credit, so that means everybody gets a check. So you gotta love that. I love to see it, especially after all of the stories that we've told on this show, Motown and PIR and all these other labels that did not give people who played instruments any credit and rock. But as I always say, those things are the nature of the music business. That's just the way it is. I mean, only Sting got credit. That still burns me up. That burns me up to this day. Like, what? That guy created that bass line. How does he not get credit? All right. Let's dive in, shall we? Love Rollercoaster from the Ohio Players. Not the Ohio Players. It's just Ohio Players. But, of course, we put the there. Great intro. I love this intro. Did not know that. Cashing O'Kelly's checks. R, thank you for joining us. Hey, Shalicer, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Presentations were filmed. All right, thank you, MC. Oops. There I go. Trying to make changes. Don't do it when the show is live, bro. Okay. All right, let's go back to the show. Miss Aima, thank you for joining us, young lady. Love is like a roller coaster. Oh, man. These freaking guys, bro. Nice. I love this breakdown. As much as I get on the commercial years, quality production, man. Definitely a more refined funk sound out of the band during these years than the early Westbound years. Those Westbound records are dope, but they're definitely not on the level sonically with the records that came out on Mercury. And why would they? like to request some OP Westbound Stem, but he's got them, bro. If I had them, I would have already did them. But as with everything else, I'm on it. We are raiding vaults. I got a new team, the Vault Raiders. We're fine. We're looking for tapes everywhere. We're looking for tapes. We're not looking for stems anymore. Nice cold ending. You don't get that on the album, do you? All right, so 3 persistent rumors are surrounding this song. And that's the crazy thing about rumors in the 1970s. Like when there was urban legend, yeah, it wasn't even a rumor. It was urban legend back then. It was like 3 urban legends surrounding this song. It was like one of them was like somebody fell off a roller coaster. That's why there's a scream in the song. The scream in the song is because of some lady. It was recorded live. It's a live recording of someone falling off a roller coaster, man. How'd they catch that one? Another rumor was that the scream in the song is somebody being killed in the I remember all 3 of these. Even though I saw this on Wikipedia, I was like, yep, these are real. The other rumor, well, one of the other rumors is someone was being killed live in the studio and he got caught on tape. And the favorite, the number one, of course, is the girl on the cover of the Honey album, because this song is from the Honey album, was screaming because the honey that was poured onto her body, because on the front cover of the album is her using a ladle and spooning the honey into her mouth. And then, of course, in the inside of the album is her covered in honey. And that was it. That's all black people need to see, because we was like, oh, she died because the hot lights burned the honey onto her body and she suffocated. Oh my God. Those are real. So I'm not too sure about the screaming. I hadn't heard that one. But the version I heard is that she died. So I guess she screamed first. They caught it on tape. They're like, let's leave that. Let's keep that. That's a keeper. But she screamed from the honey from the hot lights. And as it turns out, I guess some radio DJ started some of these urban legends, or one of them at least, and they got legs, and the rest is history. And of course, these are the drums, Rollercoaster drums. The heat from the lights, she keeps getting burned and stuck, right? Honey, the greatest album cover of all time. They won a Grammy for that. They won a Grammy for Best Album Cover. So the Honey album won a Grammy Award for Best Album Cover Art. What other like Marcus Chapman is not lying. What other album do you know from the 70s, funk or otherwise, won? And it's not just for the cover. It's for the inside. It's for the inside where she's covered in honey, which is really supposed to be covered in something else. And there's a whole bunch of guys standing over her. Sure. So yeah, if you win a Grammy Award, like you don't taste the Grammy, but you get the Grammy for album cover, yeah. No argument there, bro. No argument there. Billy Beck said she did the scream. Oh, he did the scream. Diamond says she actually did get stuck to the plexiglass on the floor. Arnita, thank you for joining us. Yeah, so many stories on that. So many stories. I mean, think about it. Like they gotta pour the honey on her. The hot lights are on her, and she's got to pose. She's got to pose with that. You're gonna get stuck, to say the least. You are gonna get stuck, and I guess you did. All right, so these are the Love Rollercoaster drums. Kind of on beat, offbeat there at the end. Interesting. Oh, I forgot to kick that whole time. Man, it's not the same. It's not the same without the kick. Okay, that guitar intro is just absolutely killer. Absolutely killer. That's one of the great intros, great funk intros. First time I'm going guitar before bass. That's like for the love of money level guitar. Recognizable guitar. It doesn't hurt to start a record with a guitar solo, and then that helps to make that guitar solo, if it's a great record, one of the all-time greats. Sugarfoot. Everybody had a nickname. That's another 70s thing. Everybody had a cool nickname. Leroy Sugarfoot Bonner. You cannot lose with this guitar, bro. Like I said, I'm putting this up there with For the Love of Money. It's one of the great guitar solos. Best fro ever. Over the eye? Absolutely. I bet Ike Turner said, if you kill a bitch on tape in the studio, that's not the way it sounds. What's wrong with you, bro? Esther Cordette. Yes, she was a Playboy model. Al Greer, thank you for joining class, sir. Thank you for being here. You're in your lane, sir. That was some weird timing with the drums. We're gonna have to revisit that. Just a guitar, ladies and gentlemen, just a guitar. Man, and he flipped it too. And those little parts where he's changed it up are just as bad, just as dope as the main riff. That's why we're letting him eat. Because this is one of the great guitar performances. Shout out to the studio engineer, producer, throwing the flange on the guitar, or maybe he's got the pedal. Who knows? Double neck guitar too. Yes, sir. Let's throw that kick back in. Throw those drums in. He's going like to the down and then the up. hitting a snare where there's a kick. It's like a kick and a snare at the same time. Incredible work. The Ohio Players. All right, let's go to the bass. Let's kick in the bass. I actually got the October 74 issue of Playboy with Esther Cordet in it off eBay in the early 2000s. Wow. He's snapping. Yeah, these are quality. These are quality solos. Quality bass. Experts. Is this mics from the amp versus directly into the board? That sounds like a Mr. Majors question. Just that and the kick sounds crazy. Hey, hey! Marshall on bass, right? Marshall Jones, Marshall Rock Jones, depending on which album you pick up. Come on, bro, get your nickname right. Get your nickname together. Paragon Studios, Chicago. Even as a kid, I remember thinking, man, this record really got fast. Like, it really picked, like, the tempo. The tempo really changes in this song. It's about your love being like a roller coaster. I certainly didn't understand that in 1975 at 9 years old. I was just like, as a kid, like, man, roller coasters? Yeah, your love is like a roller coaster? Love Rollercoaster. I was like, I was all in as a kid. Like, hell yeah. I'm 9 years old. I love roller coasters. Little did I know. Had no idea what they were talking about. Okay. Oh, she's riding. Got it. All right, let's explore some of the other instruments. Percussion. Synths. Clavs in there as well. Coming up. Sounds like a whole carnival. Horns. Your classic OP horn section. That's where they got the lady falling off the. They got the effects of the lady falling off the roller coaster at Fun Time. Right? Gotta love it. Keeping it Chicago. Tambourine man. More cowbell. Love the synth work. Record's starting to speed up. Digging these synths. We in the 120 BPM arena now, so we dancing. The record just took off, bro. It's like, who are we following? We following the drummer? All right, that's what we're doing? All right, fine. Love Rollercoaster. It is time for the lyrics. Let's start out with the guitar lead in. Sugarfoot on lead. To the bridge.
Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
Why don't you ride, child?
Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
Take you high.
Let's see if I can split that to the left so you guys can hear what the heck that was on.
Your love is like a roller.
Let's bring it back.
Roller coaster of love. Roller coaster. Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
Why don't you ride, child?
Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
Take you high.
Interesting.
Don't you want to ride, girl? Listen here. Wow, wow.
Let's get it back to the middle.
Hi.
Roller coaster
Say what?
of love. Roller coaster.
Love a roller coaster, girl. Listen.
Roller coaster of love. Roller coaster. Roller coaster.
Love a roller coaster, child.
Roller coaster.
Loving you is really wild.
Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
A crazy ride, girl.
Your love is like a roller coaster, baby, roller coaster ride.
So of course, you know the song is about sex. Sex sells. At 9, I didn't know that.
Ow.
There's the person dying right there. Right? That was it. That was it. So that's the moment. That's Billy Beck of the group, the Ohio Players. But of course, you can hear that in the song, and some radio DJ just ran with it. Oh, they killed somebody in the studio. Oh, that's somebody falling off a roller coaster. And then when you do it with all of the music in, you know, it's... So, you know, it can be confused for a murder. That was confused by, I mean, it's 75, bro. You know, we're not so technologically savvy. And people are just riding with anything. There's no way to debunk it. There's no way to disprove it. The group isn't saying anything because they like when people are talking about their songs. So they're like, we're sworn to silence. Maybe somebody did die, but I'm not saying it. So what's that? What's the
Roller
popping?
coaster.
Love a roller coaster, girl.
Roller coaster.
Loving you is a crazy
Roller
world,
coaster.
child. Let me
Roller
ride
coaster.
one more time.
Roller coaster.
Hi, hi, hi,
Roller
down.
coaster.
Oh,
Roller coaster of
Miss Chris, what up?
Why don't you let me ride sometime? Listen here. I like to ride, girl. Listen here. I like to ride. Ride on it. Ride on it. Roller coaster ride. Ride on it. Ride on it. Why don't you let me ride on it?
Extra lyrics. Love roller coaster. The Ohio Players, man, with a classic. Oh, number one smash across the board. Number one pop, number one black. Love roller coaster. I mean, shit, bro. I mean, what can you say? Your love is like a roller coaster. Like, those guys are unstoppable. 74, 75, 76. Man, it was out of control. Absolutely out of control, man. And they were doing their thing. Back-to-back album, platinum albums, either platinum or gold, from 74 through like 77. So unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. They did the Skin Tight album was platinum. Fire was platinum. Honey was platinum. And then they went gold with Contradiction. And as I said, everything is downhill from there. But that's a hell of a run, man. And I always say this on this show, like when you are living in that world, not living like I wasn't a member of the Ohio Players, but I mean, that stuff seems like it's forever at the time. I mean, granted, I was a kid. So yeah, you know, those years definitely seem a lot longer than they were. But they came with classic albums. And always something to talk about with the album covers, even from the dominatrix situation they had going on the first album. So the first album's on Westbound with the bald head chick, you know, with the dominatrix type situation going on with the whips and the leather and the chains and ropes. That's already provocative. And then they smoothed it out when they went to Mercury. Like their whole setup, everything changed, but it was still very similar, but a lot more classy. Except for the nude woman with honey on her, burned onto her body. Maybe that's not all that classic. Like maybe that might be a little not classy, but it's definitely something to get the people talking. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with Stevie Wonder, Living for the City. It's STEM Research. The original DJ J.U. Ice, welcome. Money comes and money goes. It sure does, doesn't it? STEM Research is the show, Mike. Mother freaking. We are back. We're back. Hey, STEM Research. You know it, you love it. Thank you guys for being a part of the show. We do this Monday through Friday right here on the Twitch page, and we broadcast to YouTube and Twitter. We're live on Twitter as well. If you want alerts for when the show goes live, you can either subscribe to Mike MFN Love on YouTube, and all of the episodes are available to watch. So if you miss an episode, you can go back, you can watch it. No fear of missing out. No FOMO. The episodes are on YouTube. Or, of course, you can follow the page here on Twitch and set your phone for alerts. And when we go live, you'll know. That was awesome. My favorite STEM so far. Well, thank you. Thank you, Marcus. Glad. Yeah, man. I was like, funk. Oh, we need some funk. Oh, Ohio players. Yep. There we go. More funk. Let's round the show out. Let's even it out a little bit. All right. As we slide into Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, man, who is still with us, and people are like bubble wrapping, right? Maybe one of the last great artists from that group of great artists that you think, you know, when you think of the great artists of my lifetime, you think James Brown, you think Michael Jackson, you think Prince, Luther in my mind. You know, Luther is about the same as Michael Jackson to me. Luther didn't play any instruments, but he wrote a whole lot of great songs, arranged a whole lot of great songs. Yeah, okay, maybe you don't put Luther in with Prince, Stevie Wonder, but arguably he's one of the greats. And Stevie Wonder, who's great, his classic period. You talk about classic. We talked about the Ohio Players classic period. Well, we're also going to talk about Stevie Wonder's classic period as well, as we change the name of the damn song. There we go. Living for the City. Stevie Wonder's classic period, if you really want to break it down, really started when he turned 21. When he turned 21, he was legally not bound to his contract anymore, and he could tell Berry Gordy, kiss my ass. I could be out this bitch if I want. But he's like, no, I'm going to stay, and you're going to give me complete control of all of my albums, production, writing, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not working with any outside producers anymore. And that's crazy. That's crazy to take the reins like that. For Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder to take the reins, and Marvin Gaye as well, to take the reins, like they'd been around it enough. They're like, I've seen enough. And if you really think about it, not everybody does that. Not everybody can take in, because Marvin Gaye played a couple of instruments. Michael Jackson played a couple of instruments, but Stevie Wonder was a multi-instrumentalist. So it made sense for him to step into that seat. So from 1971 on, when he signed his new deal, it was only a matter of time before we would get to what we consider the classic period. Where I'm Coming From in 71 is a great start. Music of My Mind is not even better. Like, okay, so now I see where we're going. In my mind, and you can agree or disagree, I feel like Stevie Wonder's classic period starts with Talking Book. It doesn't start with Music of My Mind to me, although Music of My Mind is a great album and they are great. I think Talking Book is where, okay, we got it. Like, this is the one. So whereas Where I'm Coming From and Music of My Mind are both great albums and albums with great songs, Talking Book is like, that's when the switch flips. And it's like, okay, now we're cooking with gas. And the next 3 albums after that are the album of the year. I think Talking Book is the black. That's the black. That's like black people were like, okay, Stevie, we're all in. Intervisions, fulfilling his first finale, which always reminds me of that Eddie Murphy joke. fulfilling the fucking, the good one. And Songs in the Key of Life, 3 in a row Grammy Album of the Year. So unquestionable. An unquestionable run, an untouchable run, a run that I can't say in my lifetime there is another artist. So even if you like, okay, Mike Love, I don't agree with that, I'm putting Music in My Mind in the classic period. So even if you do that, you got 2 albums in 72, Music in My Mind and Talking Book, Intervisions, Fulfilling His First Finale, and Songs in the Key of Life. That's 5 albums in a row that are untouchable. And Stevie Wonder is a musical genius. We know this. Intervisions is a classic, absolutely. DJ Paul E. Lopez, thank you for joining us. 100 Bits, thank you so much, Mr. Majors, for the biddies. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. So, at the end of the day, it's all just great music, and we still live with that. We still vibe to it. It's still, and yeah, he took an album off, Journey into the Secret Life of Plant. Sure, he took an album off. There's probably some greats. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on. That's gonna be my next. That's my next. I'm writing it down because y'all know I'm gonna listen to Journey to the Secret Life of Plants. On that's my note to myself, because I bet there's some bangers on there. I just remember it just being trash. And like I said before, Dozen Roses is a cut. And anybody that loves Stevie Wonder will agree there's always a couple of songs on every Stevie Wonder album. But he did get it back together with Hotter Than July in 1980. He was like, all right, we're back. I'm still Stevie Wonder, man. Don't forget. Don't forget, I'm still Stevie. Oh, you hate to see it though. You hate to see that road just broken up. Because really, if Journey to the Secret Life and just two double albums back to back, it's just too much, bro. It's too much. Like, Stevie was feeling himself. He was feeling himself. But we are talking about Intervisions, and we're talking about a man who dropped an album, and then very soon after he dropped an album, bam, he's in a car accident and like almost died. I remember that. 1973. They're like, Stevie, musician Stevie Wonder is like a passenger in a car. Obviously, he's not driving. He's Stevie Wonder. He can't see. He's a passenger in the car. There's some logs on the car in front of him. Like some, what's the movie? Like these are things that happen that people die. Like logs on a truck in front of you smash through your car window and hit you in the head and you survive? Stevie Wonder was destined for greatness. Absolutely destined. He's in the car accident. He's in the coma. People are going to the... I remember this. So as I'm doing the research and I'm reading it, it's so funny because all of this stuff, I remember as a kid. Like, people were going to the hospital singing for Stevie, and he came out of the coma because people sang songs. I was like, man, that's exactly what they reported back in the day. It took time. It wasn't like overnight. And initially, he had no sense of taste or smell. And he still has a big ass scar on his forehead from that. But like, if you just think, man, this dude got hit in the head with a log, bro. Like a log from a truck, just came smashing through the window, and his head was still attached. Like, he still lived to see another day. But one thing you can say is when you live to see something like that, like when you live to see the other side, it changes you and you realize that nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised, and you got to keep going. So maybe that accident and him almost dying actually helped, with what he became as an artist and who he became and where he eventually went. And he was literally another album the next year, 1974, dropped another album, fulfilling his first finale, and then Songs in the Key of Life, which took 2 years. That took forever. Stevie must have been like, what the fuck? Earth, Wind & Fire, 73 to 76 was a hell of a run, too. Not yet. Final Destination. Thank you. Thank you, Pryor Inc. That's exactly what I was thinking. In Final Destination, you die when that happens, right? But Stevie Wonder lived to tell about it, man. But again, this album was already done. It was already cut. He just didn't get the tour right afterwards. But, of course, Stevie Wonder was Stevie Wonder. He got it all together. That's crazy, though, bro. Like a whole tree came through, like a tree came through the car, like, the logs, like just like you picturing it. It must not have been like, not like the big joints that they have on the back of those trucks nowadays, because he would have been beheaded. But still, something flying, I don't know, man. I don't know how he survived it, but God bless him. Thank God he did, right? Let's dive into the joint. Earth, Wind & Fire. Earth, Wind & Fire had a great run. They had a great run as well, certainly. And shout out to my EWF fans who will fight you. Oh man, they will fight you. They be like, no, bro. Stevie had a run. Earth, Wind & Fire had a run. I think you got to be a EWF fan, like to be into their albums like that. So, but they made great albums. All right, let's dive into it, man. You know the joint. It is Living for the City from said album, Inner Visions. It went number one black. And you know it went number one black because our man Richard Pryor was using it in a stand-up routine. What was living just enough for the city. Man, I was just thinking about that kind of stuff when I'm getting the show together, and I'm like, man, it just goes to show you the largeness of that era and the music of that era. Like, that's a whole segment of Richard Pryor's stand-up, like where he takes lyrics from this song and does them preacher style in a way that he's preaching what Stevie Wonder is saying on this song. Was it something I said? If I'm not, I know was it something I said? It has to be was it something I said, because that's like 75, I think. All right, let's dive in. Let's get into the music. Living for the City on S.T.E.M Research. Miss Jatan, thank you for joining us. Welcome to class, DJ Chucky Charles. Welcome to S.T.E.M Research. We start out with the instrumental. Second straight. Ohio players number one off the top spot for a week in 75. Thank you for that. Holy cow. You talk about tying shit in together, right? Yeah, Richard Pryor, like, comedy albums went number one. That N-Word's Crazy and Was It Something I Said were ridiculously big. Everybody had them. Not everybody, but I like to say everybody. I know my parents had them. That's crazy. Ooh. Come on. Stevie Wonder's a more or less a one-man band by this point, or at this point, I should say. He does eventually get back to Wonderland and having his band and his studio musicians, but you know, he's trying some new things with all this new technology. The Tonto synthesizer, you know, that can do almost anything. It can make the sounds of any instrument, bass lines, guitar sounds. That's why there's no actual guitar players on this song. It's mostly keys and drums. Hey, Charles, what up, bro? Charles from Dr. Wax, my man. He was jumping on the Facebook joints. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I remember my man Charles. That's good stuff. That's a guy who knows his music. We have a lot of musicologists in the chat today. A lot of them. I wouldn't even say that's an actual bass. I'd say that's probably the keys. That's probably the keyboards playing that bass line. We'll see when we get to it. MC with the S.T.E.M and Dr. Wax. Promo's in my bag. I'm buying that. 45 version, folks. 45 version. Living for the City. Stevie Wonder from Inner Visions. All right, let's start with the drums. Let's break the song down. Let's chop it up. Stevie Wonder on drums. I'm sorry. Belching today. Forgive me. Stevie Wonder is a capable drummer. He is capable of doing the thing, right? I hear some superstition in there, right? Got the foot and the snare at the same time. Come on, Steveland. Yep. Very much like superstition. And that's Stevie too, so, you know. But according to Stevie, the drums from Superstition are from somewhere else. I can't remember, because I remember we did Superstition. Like they were influenced by someone else. But you can tell it's Stevie because it's very heavy-handed. It's not as loose as a studio drummer would be. You see what I mean? Like it's... Yeah, he's killing that. Foot and snare. Woo! I haven't heard the Ray Charles version, but I was reading about it today. It came out like a year later, right? And it won a Grammy. Like this song won 2 Grammys by 2 blind artists. Stevie Wonder won one of the Grammys for this song, and Ray Charles won one. Can you believe it? Yeah, he is. Come on with the fills. Stevie killing my drums. I love that. He absolutely killed that. Some of you joined us for the full album version. I noticed in the comments on my Facebook post that people were responding with some of their favorite lines from the album version, which, you know, goes into a whole thing about, you know, Stevie's brother, who actually is the person who does that. Like, wow, I'm in New York City. Like, people were like, yeah, those are my favorite parts of the song. It's like, even my cousin chimed in, get in that cell, nigger. But he said, nigga. I'm like, no, it's a hard ER. There's a hard ER on that one. Public Enemy sampled it. This is not that version. Unfortunately, this is the 45 version. This is the short version. So unfortunately, we will not be delving and diving into, you know, that great part of the song where all the sound effects and, you know, so I just wanted to give you guys a head up. Like, I'm disappointed too, because that is what makes the song great, right? The reason why we do these songs on STEM Research is because I want to uncover what makes the song great. And that's what makes that song great. That whole... Start with some keys. Stevie Wonder on everything. Fender Rhodes, Moog bass, Tonto synthesizer, hand claps, drums. As I said, he's a one-man band. Yeah, Buddy was just blown away by New York City. Like, it's just a horrible ending. Like, But you got to give it up to Stevie Wonder, like creating this whole world on the song. Like you didn't see that. That didn't happen back in the day. I mean, sure you had Marvin Gaye doing social commentary on song, but like you didn't do a whole skit in the middle of the song, bro. Stevie Wonder invented skits. Come on, Steve. He's just playing around, man. Stevie Wonder playing with y'all, man. Just trying shit in the studio, see if it works. Sampled by Usher on Lil Freak. Thought I'd give you a 2010s reference. Yeah, he didn't stand a chance, man. Like, just wide-eyed, like in the big city. Next thing you know, you're going to jail. Doesn't get a fair shake. Boy, nothing's changed since this album, huh? Get in that cell, nigger. Hard ER. It's 73, bro. It's hard ERs, and this is the hard ER era. Forgive me. Forgive me. I know we have listeners with sensitive ears. I know it is not politically correct of me. I'm just speaking of the song. You guys know the song. How you gonna have a redneck judge in New York City though? Like, come on, bro. No hard ERs in New York City. What are you doing? He went from getting arrested in New York City to getting thrown in jail in the dirty South. Or maybe it was Rikers. I mean, I'm sure they're rough. They might be hard ERs. They might there might be hard ERs on Rikers. You know, you never know. All right, we'll do the bass last. This is a synth bass. Synth based. This bass is hard, bro. Moog bass. Let's work some drums with this. Think about Jungle Fever when I hear this. Sounds so modern. Was this the Tonto? Yep. I know he plays the Tonto on this, but this may be Moog bass. If Stevie only had $40, the big city could have treated him better. Shaq Nice, what up, bro? Thank you for checking in, sir. We're living for the city. The show is S.T.E.M Research. My name is Mike, MFN Love. You can catch this show, repeats of the show, on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Mike MFN Love. So if you miss an episode, no need to fear, no FOMO. Episodes are uploaded to my channel every night. And live on YouTube as well. Live on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. The Tonto was the size of the city. Bro, That's why he had to have help. Like if you read the credits for these Stevie Wonder albums, like he definitely had some guys walking him through it. And shout out to, who was his help on this one? Malcolm Cecil and Robert Margolith. Y'all know I struggle with these names. Malcolm Cecil, I got that. So Malcolm and Robert were there for synthesizer programming. And the early albums in that era had crediting. It was always crediting someone for synthesizer programming. So if you read the credits for Talking Book, Music of My Mind, when he starts branching out, he got his team together, man. Stevie Wonder. That's bass in your face right there. He's playing around with it. That's what she said. Synth and bass together. So I'm gonna back that up. Get those young drum rolls in there. Get them young rolls. I want to hear a little accompaniment. Big finish. All right, it's time for vocals. One of the great all-time songs. Sing along at home if you know the words. Stevie Wonder, Living for the City, a.k.a. Just Enough for the City. That's what I called it when I was a kid, and I still call it that as an adult. I literally Googled Just Enough for the City. Oh, it's Living for the City? Oh, my bad.
A boy's born in Hard Time, Mississippi, surrounded by four walls that ain't so pretty. His parents give him love and affection.
Come on, Steve.
To keep him strong, moving in the right direction, living just enough for the city.
That was a Richard Pryor routine.
His father works some days for 14 hours, and you can bet he barely makes $1. His mother goes to scrub the floors for many, and you best believe she hardly gets a penny, living just enough, just enough for the city. Yeah.
All right, we'll back that up and drop some keys in there, because what a genius. What a genius.
His sister's black, but she is shown up pretty. Her skirt is short, but Lord, her legs are sturdy.
Come on.
To walk to school, she's got to get up early. Her clothes are old, but never are they dirty. Living just enough for the city. Her brother's smart, he's got more sense than many. His patience long, but soon he won't have any. To find a job is like a haystack needle. Cause where he lives, they don't use colored people. Living just enough.
Come on, Steve.
Just enough
Preach it.
for the city.
I didn't know Steve could hold them notes, huh? All right, let's back it up. Let's take it back to that note, and let's do Stevie's harmony with the synthesizer.
For the city.
Check it out. Hold it. So much you hear when you strip everything away.
Living just enough.
New Jack City.
Living for the city. Just enough. Ain't nothing but a city. Just enough. Living for the city. Just enough.
Come on,
The
Steve.
message of the city. Just enough.
It's a party.
Live for the city.
Host the show.
The funky crowded city. Just enough for the city. For nothing but the city. Just enough. Everybody clap their hand together now.
Come on, Stevie.
Just enough for the city now. For the city, yeah. For the city, yeah. For the city.
All right, you know I'm backing that up. I'm backing it up, putting synths and drums. That's the big finish. 45 version, of course. We got the album. It continues on, though.
For the city, yeah. For the city, yeah.
He confused himself. He thought he was going into the hook a little early. Bring it back.
For the city, yeah. For the city, yeah. For the city.
Stevie Wonder, the musical genius himself, living for the city on STEM research. Man, you can never go wrong with a classic song from Stevie Wonder, man. Thank you to everybody that is on the chat. Robin Malcolm said they kept stopping Stevie on purpose to get him annoyed so he would sound more pissed off on the vocal. That's dope. That's dope. Well, they did a good job because he sounded pissed. He definitely sounded pissed. Like he sang that like he meant that shit. He meant that. Go through some of that. Like he literally is like,
A brother smart, he's got more sense than many. His patience long, but soon he won't have any. To find a job is like a haystack needle. Cause where he lives, they don't use colored people, living just enough.
needle and people. It works.
Just enough for the city.
All right, man. I had to do that one more time. That just reminds me of New Jack City, with they took that riff and flipped it into New Jack City. Singing around the garbage cans with the E's. Come on, you gotta love that part. I was just saying, Dan Stevie, who pissed in your Cheerios? The emotion. You gotta love it. Yes, we got the baddest chat on Twitch, the Stimulators. Thank you guys for being a part of what we do Monday through Friday. And thank you for just jumping in and chiming in on your favorite songs, dropping so much information. That is what I love the most about STEM research, not only presenting the STEMs, but being in the presence of so many people who love music and can share the knowledge, all the things that they've learned. Because I know a little bit, this person knows a little bit, and we take all of those little bits and we create this this community that we call the Stimulators. So if you jump in the chat, if you say something, you're a stimulator. And if you're sitting in the back lurking, we appreciate you for sitting in the back and lurking as well, man. Thank you guys. It looks like, not many tracks. Yeah, those are part of the rock band stems that leaked about 10 years ago. So I'm sure there were plenty more tracks, but they take those and they really truly make them stems. You know, all of the keyboards all in one stem as opposed to separate stems. This is 73, so it's probably done in a 16-track studio. So this is probably laid out 16 tracks, no problem. 8 tracks at the very least. But it's Stevie Wonder, unlimited budget, and he's recording in Hollywood. He's definitely on 16 tracks. We got to send our shout-outs. Oh, but before we do, don't forget. The Old Man Rap Show every Saturday right here on this damn channel. So support it. If you love hippity hop and rappity rap from 1979 through 1995, there will definitely be something for you on the show. Unheralded, lost, hip-hop, and rap. Some of the greatest songs ever recorded, and some of the stuff that you have forgotten was your jam, but it's still your jam. All right, so make sure you check out the show. STEM Research, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays, the Old Man Rap Show. All right, so we finished. Class is letting out early tonight. We're letting class out early. We're getting up out of here. I got to send my shout-outs and my thank yous to everyone that is on the feed. DJ H. Lee, thank you. DJ Chucky Charles, thank you for joining us on Twitch. I appreciate it, sir. DJ Lazy E, brother, salute to you and thank you. DJ Paulie Lopez, thank you. DJ Circuit, thank you. Dragoon Knight 5515, thank you. Droop Dog, thank you. Duke Grip, thank you. Easter 001, thank you. Goddess One Love, thank you. Jink, thank you. Caddy Nah, thank you. These are users in the chat. CAC CPX06, thank you. MC Marcus Chapman, thank you. Mr. Majors, thank you, sir. Miss Chris, thank you. Miss Aima 626, thank you. Miss Jatan, thank you. Exclusive, thank you. On 3D, thank you. Prior INC. Speaking of Prior, we're talking about Prior early. Ray Yanos, thank you. Arnita, thank you. Sajan 46, thank you. Shaggy Nice 1911, thank you. Shalise R, thank you. Spike Trap Claire, Tis Cloud, Virgo Pros, thank you. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll be back with 2 new stems. Which 2 stems? I don't know. But we will be here with stems. So they will be great. They will be great songs. So follow me on social media and I'll let you know. All right. Follow me on IG, on the gram, Mike at MFN Love. All right. And on Facebook. I also announce on those channels as well. The show is everything. Thank you. Glad I found this show. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for finding it. Thank you for lurking. If I could bring you out for a second after saying your name, that's why I do that. And if you don't come out, that's okay too. Just stay in the background. I appreciate you being here, and I just wanted to say thank you. All right? Have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. We're going to raid DJ Dark Knight from the 219, a great DJ and a boss. So, ride with us. Let's roll over. Let's go see this guy. Have a good night, and class is dismissed. Bring back some Human League stems. Gotcha, bro.